And I did get some like adversity back on that, which I realized I was like, maybe I don't host my own open houses. But I mean, ultimately it sold and I enjoyed it so much. And so the next one I was like, well, what can I do more? Like, how can I push it more?
I assume it was a pretty profitable deal. Like, did it get you back on your feet or did it get you enough? Like, what did it feel like after that closed?
Yeah, I got a check for, I think, $50,000. I think profit on that was $35,000. So yeah, I felt great. I was like, oh, I can do anything now.
That's awesome.
Which, looking back, is not a crazy amount. But I immediately bought 2 more properties. Like, I was like, okay, we're going to get 2 now.
That's insane. I mean, just to take that risk and to think that you can go buy a house, flip a house with your capital position that you were in.
Yeah.
And just to think that that was possible or realistic or something you should do. But you were just like, nah, like, I'm going to do it. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to be successful. And then you made it work. Was there any moment during the flip where you were like, this might not work?
No, but I will say, I always like say like that during that, I almost like felt like blackout because I was so like just focused. Like it had to work. I would wake up like every day at 5 and like run and like listen to these podcasts. And I'm like I was probably the best version of me because I was so motivated for it to work. But it was hard. Like, I remember 1 month at the very end, I couldn't pay my mortgage because I put everything into this. So I just didn't pay my mortgage. And I remember like being like, this is cool, right? Like, I'm gonna pay. I mean, they don't come after you. I just figured they don't come after you that quick. That's what I did on everything. I couldn't pay anything. But I was like, it will work. I knew it would sell. No, I never thought that it wouldn't work. Right. To be honest.
That's awesome. One of the questions that I had prepared was like, what would you have done if it didn't work? I literally was like, I'm not going to ask that question because just in talking to you, the answer is like, it's going to work.
Yeah.
It will work.
Yeah.
So then you bought 2 houses after that. You jumped right back into 2 more.
Yeah.
I guess at this point, like, you have your hard money, like you can go back to them.
Yep.
You have your construction people. Either of these 2 houses, when you started thinking more about design, like getting a little bit bolder in what you were doing?
Yeah, so even in my first house, I did like a green cabinets and there was a half bath and I was like, oh, it had like trim on the bottom half of it and I can't think of the word, wainscoting on the bottom half. And so I was like, okay, the upper half we can do like Amazon wallpaper. It's like a few $100 to buy it and have it installed. Right. Maybe even less. My friends were like, you're doing way too much. Like, you need to play it safe. Like, you're doing way too much for a flip. And it was super basic wallpaper. And I was like, well, that was what I enjoyed. I enjoyed being able to pick out like the hinges, pick out the lights, figure out that like, oh my gosh, this little light's not gonna work. We need to get a bigger one. I loved that. So to me, just because there was a blueprint, set in place of like, this is how people flip, these are the selections you pick, I wasn't interested in that. So, and I remember even the first one, I did some things that people don't do, the way I finished the floors. And I did get some like adversity back on that, which I realized I was like, maybe I don't host my own open houses. But I mean, ultimately it sold and I enjoyed it so much. And so the next one I was like, well, what can I do more? Like, how can I push it more? And then I just took it until I got crazy and I was like, let's dial it back a little.
And you were like setting comp records.
Yeah, so actually this is interesting. That first house, I still hold the record for.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's insane. And yeah, comps should be beat in 30 days. Right. They just should. I mean, it was Petersburg, so it is what it is, but yeah.
I have looked at your projects and they're insanely awesome.